Greetings from Anchorage, everybody, and Happy New Year. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there in person with everybody there, but I want to thank you for the invitation to say a few words to the 2023 Alaska Marine Science Symposium. And the first thing I want to do is thank all of you. You know, the great work that you're doing is so important for our state, for our economy, for our environment, and it's also important for our country. You know, the incredible diversity of landscapes, of ocean ecosystems we have here is so important when it comes to real science. And as a really big supporter of science for our federal agencies, it's really important, and you all know this, that we prioritize science and research in terms of the federal government, particularly as it relates to Alaska. Let me give you a couple areas where I think that prioritization is really important. Of course, for our fisheries, whether the Gulf of Alaska, whether the Bering Sea, the Aleutian Island chain, even what's happening in the Arctic Ocean, scientific research is so important. It's also important working with the Coast Guard that we continue to make progress on hydrographic surveys and mapping. That's science, and we're still one of the least mapped places in the world. So we are trying to get funding for that, and I know so many of you care about it. Finally, I'll mention just one area where I specifically have said to the federal government and my colleagues in the Congress, we need more research from the federal government to help us with a big problem. And that is what's happening with our salmon runs, particularly some of our big interior salmon runs in the Yukon on the Kuskokwim, as it relates to king salmon and other salmon. And we've seen a huge crash, a huge decline. So this past December, my Alaska Salmon Research Task Force Act passed both the House and Senate and was signed into law. I was very excited about that. That is bringing all the best minds, scientific minds, traditional knowledge in Alaska from our university systems, from the federal government to come together and say, what is happening? What is causing this dramatic decline in the iconic species of salmon, the king salmon and other species of salmon for Alaska? I'm really happy that passed and is now the law of the land, and we look forward to working with all of you to make sure the outcomes of this, again, the best science, what's happening. I know that you're interested in this too. Now we have the federal government very involved. Federal funds should be forthcoming, and it's something that I care deeply about. So do so many other Alaskans. So thank you again for all your work. I'm very interested in what comes out of this symposium. Keep up the great work and know that you have a strong backer in the U.S. Senate in terms of science, data, what's best for our state, what's best for our country. Thanks again.